What if the woman you love, the woman who stood beside you, who built a home with you, who gave you her very best years, quietly started pulling away, not with a fight, not with tears, just silence, a kind of invisible distance that you couldn't quite name, but could feel in every room she walked through? What if, and stay with me here, what if the reason she started looking elsewhere, for warmth, for connection, for peace, wasn't because she stopped loving you, but because she stopped feeling loved by you? In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 16 mistakes, real, painful, deeply human mistakes, that husbands make that slowly push the woman they love toward the door. If you stay until the end, you will understand something most men never get the chance to hear. Welcome back, beautiful souls. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found this space. This channel is dedicated to the kind of love conversations that most people are too afraid to have out loud, and you deserve every single one of them. Today's a gift. Today's topic is one of the most requested we've ever received. And I want to say this gently, but clearly, this video is not about blame. It is about understanding, because a man who truly loves his wife deserves to know when he's unknowingly hurting her. We're going to walk through 16 specific patterns, some obvious, some shockingly subtle, that erode emotional connection in marriages after 40, and the insight I'm saving for the end. It may be the most important thing you hear all year. If this channel speaks to your heart, please like this video and subscribe. It truly means everything. Now, let's begin. Mistake number 1. He stopped making her feel seen. There is a quiet devastation in being invisible to the person who is supposed to know you best. Psychologists call this emotional attunement, the ability to truly notice another person. When a husband stops paying attention to her moods, her words, her subtle changes, a woman doesn't just feel unnoticed, she feels erased. Imagine a woman who spent all day carrying something heavy, a difficult conversation at work, a worry about her mother, and when she comes home, her husband barely looks up from his phone. Over time, she stops offering her inner world, because no one is asking for it. Have you ever felt completely alone in a room full of people? That is how she feels in her own home. Mistake number 2. He replaced affection with routine. Touch is not a luxury in a marriage. It is oxygen. When physical affection becomes mechanical, a peck on the cheek, a habit without feeling, a woman's nervous system registers the absence even if her mind doesn't name it yet. She begins to feel like a roommate, a partner in logistics. Not a beloved she used to reach for his hand in the car. She doesn't anymore, not because she stopped wanting to, but because it stopped feeling safe to want. Desire doesn't die instantly. It starves, slowly and quietly. Mistake number 3. He dismissed her emotions instead of holding them. When a woman shares something vulnerable, a fear, a frustration, a feeling that doesn't quite make logical sense, and the response she receives is, "You're overreacting," or "calm down," something inside her closes. Not loudly, not dramatically, just closes. Emotional dismissal is one of the most corrosive forces in a marriage. When a woman feels her feelings are rejected, she doesn't just feel misunderstood, she feels rejected as a person. She learns to stop sharing, and the woman who stops sharing with her husband will eventually find someone who listens. Mistake number 4. He stopped pursuing her. In the early days, he noticed everything. Her laugh, her perfume, the way she tilted her head when she was curious. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, the pursuit stopped. He had won her after all. But a woman over 40 does not want to be a possession. She wants to be chosen, again and again, every single day. When a husband stops making her feel wanted, not needed, not useful, but genuinely, romantically wanted, she begins to question whether she is still desirable, and that question, left unanswered, has a way of finding answers elsewhere. Mistake number 5. He used criticism as a communication style. Criticism, especially contempt, is acid on the foundation of love, eye rolls, sighs, comments that chip away at her self-worth under the guise of just being honest. She started wearing a different dress. He said it looked odd. She cooked something new. He preferred the old way. She stopped trying new things. She stopped being herself around him. You are not alone if you recognize this. But the woman you love is shrinking inside that marriage, and she may be looking for somewhere she can breathe again. Mistake number 6. He made her feel like a burden when she needed support. When a woman reaches for help and is met with sighs, reluctance, or silence, the message she receives is devastating. Your needs are too much. Over time, she stops asking. She becomes self-sufficient, not from strength, but from pain. And a woman who has learned to carry everything alone will eventually realize she doesn't need anyone, including him. Mistake number 7. He neglected her intellectual and conversational world. Women over 40 are often at the peak of their intellectual lives. They want to be challenged, stimulated, heard, not just in matters of the heart, but of the mind. When conversation shrinks to logistics, schedules, bills, errands, something profound is lost. She has opinions, dreams, observations about the world that are sharp and beautiful. When her husband doesn't ask, she feels intellectually alone. And intellectual loneliness is one of the least talked about reasons. Women seek deep connection outside their marriages. Mistake number 8. He took her presence for granted. Familiarity, when it curdles into complacency, becomes one of the most dangerous forces in the long marriage. He stopped saying thank you, stopped noticing what she does. For the house, for the children, for him. What was once appreciated became expected. Gratitude is not a small thing. It is the difference between a woman who feels valued and a woman who feels used. She didn't become a different person after 40, but she started asking different questions, like, is this all there is? Mistake number 9. He made her feel guilty for having needs, whether through silence, withdrawal, or passive resentment. A husband who responds to his wife's emotional needs with punishment trains her to feel ashamed for having them. She starts pre-editing herself, shrinking her desires before they even reach her lips. A woman who cannot be herself with her husband is already halfway out the door, even if she never leaves the house. Mistake number 10. He stopped growing alongside her. After 40, many women experience profound personal evolution in their values, their identity, their vision for life. When a husband resists growth, a painful gap opens between who she is becoming and who he remains. She doesn't want to leave him behind, but she cannot stop becoming herself just to stay beside him. Think about that for a moment. Mistake number 11. He made her feel physically unwanted. When a woman senses that her husband is no longer attracted to her, that physica, connection, has become obligation rather than desire, the wound goes very deep. She begins to grieve her own desirability. And grief, when it finds no comfort at home, has a way of looking for it somewhere else. Mistake number 12. He chose avoidance over difficult conversations. Conflict avoidance feels like peace, but it isn't. It is a gift. It is postponed pain, accumulating silently beneath the surface until it erupts in ways that seem sudden, but were years in the making. A woman who cannot have honest, safe conversations with her husband cannot truly be intimate with him. She is simply living with a stranger who shares her last name. Mistake number 13. He stopped being her safe place. At her most vulnerable, during health fears, career changes, family grief, she needed to feel that he was solid ground beneath her feet. When he was absent, distracted, or unable to hold her fear, she stopped turning to him in her darkest moments. And a woman who cannot come to her husband with her pain will find somewhere else to put it. Mistake number 14. He let resentment harden into contempt. Unaddressed resentment begins as disappointment. Left unspoken, it becomes bitterness, and bitterness, over time, becomes contempt. The moment contempt enters a marriage, she can feel it in every glance, every silence, every interaction that carries that cold, invisible charge of you are less than. No woman can stay emotionally connected to a man who makes her feel small. Mistake number 15. He forgot to be her friend. Before the titles, husband, provider, father, he was her person, her companion, the one she could laugh with, confide in, dream alongside. When the friendship fades and only the structure of marriage remains, she is left in a relationship without joy. Joy is not a bonus in a marriage. It is the whole point. Mistake number 16. He waited too long to change. This is the mistake beneath all the other mistakes. Because most women do not leave suddenly. They leave slowly, piece by piece, year by year, and by the time a husband notices, she is already gone emotionally, even if she is still sitting across from him at dinner. The saddest thing is not that she sought comfort elsewhere. The saddest thing is that she tried to find it at home first and couldn't. I want to speak to you directly now, just you and me. If you are a man watching this, please hear me. She didn't want to drift away from you. She wanted to stay. She wanted to be chosen. She wanted to feel safe enough to be soft. And if you are a woman watching this, please hear me too. Your longing for connection is not weakness. Your need to be seen, to be touched, to be wanted. That is not too much. The truth at the heart of all 16 of these mistakes is this. A woman over 40 is not looking for perfection. She is not looking for grand gestures or expensive gifts or a man who never makes mistakes. She is looking for presence. Real, consistent, loving presence. She wants to know that in a world that has asked so much of her, that in the one place she chose, she is still the most important thing in the room. That is all. That has always been all. Love is not something that sustains itself. It is something we choose to tend every single day, through the quiet moments and the difficult ones. The 16 mistakes we talked about today are not verdicts. They are invitations to look more closely, to love more intentionally, to show up, really show up for the person who chose you. I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, which of these resonated with you most? Or share your story. This space is always safe for that. If this video moved something in you, please like it and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And subscribe, because every week we go deeper into the conversations that matter most. Next time we're exploring what women over 40 secretly wish their husbands understood, but rarely say out loud. You do not want to miss that one. Until then, be gentle with each other and be gentle with yourself. I'll see you soon.